What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Evander, the real deal, Holyfield. Evander Holyfield announces his comeback to the sport of boxing. Wow. He says, I've been training too. That's what Evander Holyfield says. He says, the champ is back. Holyfield tells us, I'd like to announce that I will be making a comeback to the ring. Okay? He said, I will be fighting in an exhibition match for a great cause. Sounds familiar, right? Holyfield, who hasn't had a sanctioned fight in 9 years, says the goal is to raise money for the hashtag Unite for Our Fight campaign, which aims to provide students the resources they need for emotional development and education. And he says this, that's all he really says. Okay, well, Holyfield is coming back. His record was 44-10-2 as a pro with 2 victories over Mike Tyson. He's widely considered one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time. You know, we know how the last fight ended, or the rematch ended, with Mike Tyson biting the ear off of Evander Holyfield. There was a back and forth and a lot of animosity, you know, at that time. Okay, but you know, seeing Evander Holyfield, he's always been in shape. He's always looked in shape, you know. My thoughts, I think that it's a domino effect. One guy that's over 50, and he's 57 years old, might I add. One guy announces a comeback, then that kind of creates a spark with other fighters. That's that same genre that had the same or similar buzz to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is reviewed as one of the most popular heavyweights of all time. You know, when you're talking about boxing, you talk about Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, but then Evander Holyfield fits in there somewhere, okay? And as far as Evander, I think Evander Holyfield wants so desperately to not be or not fall between the cracks, okay? My thoughts is, I know why. You know, Mike is coming back to the sport. He says, I've been training too. That means I've been training also. So that means that he's not the only heavyweight that's coming back to the sport. Evander Holyfield is doing that. And he's, you know, he wants to steal some of that thunder, you know. Again, Buster Douglas said it best. It gives people over 50 a chance to let them know that they're still in the fight. I think that was a powerful statement because it looks like it's going to be true if Evander Holyfield comes back to the sport. I think that, you know, he doesn't want Mike Tyson to share the glory because he's the guy that beat Mike Tyson. He was the guy that made Mike Tyson, I mean, legitimately beat him, not the one-hit wonder Buster Douglas, because Buster Douglas never fought Mike Tyson again because he was taken out by Evander, the real deal, Holyfield. Now, what I will say about this, I think Evander Holyfield, you know, if he's going to stay in exhibitions, it's tolerable. I can tolerate it. But if he's thinking that, hey, I can be a full-time champion and all this, that, no, I wouldn't do that. Because for one, you have to consider what condition these fighters are in when they come back. Okay, Mike Tyson, he doesn't seem to be punch drunk. I don't see any signs of that. Evander Holyfield, we can't say that. Evander Holyfield, he has slurred speech. He talks slower. He's not the same quick, responsive fighter that we remember him being in his heyday. That's not a good sign, especially when you're considering the punishment that he took. You know, for exhibitions, I think, well, it could be no more than somebody just reliving their dreams once again to get back in there to see what they still have. So it's kind of more like 70-30 because still, you know, these guys are taking punishment. However, I would recommend if these guys are going to do this, see, now Evander Holyfield's getting back into the sport. Okay, Mike Tyson still looks good with his movement. Evander Holyfield, well, and Mike, to be fair, they didn't look good when their last few fights. I seen Evander Holyfield in his last few fights. He looked slow, he looked worn, he looked torn, but then time does heal certain things, but certain things don't heal in time, okay, like slurred speech, okay, so I would recommend headgear, no more than 3 rounds for these fighters, for these legends, because they've already done, enough in the sport of boxing, you know, considering what Evander's done and what he's capable of doing. You know, I don't want to tarnish his legacy by getting him hurt or making his condition worse. That's my counterpunch on it. You know, I think that, you know, Evander Holyfield wants a piece of that action, wants a piece of that glory that Mike Tyson, because he sees what everyone's talking about. Not only that the current fighters, the promoters, the journalists, the analysts, you know, also the fighters of yesteryear are starting to bring up Mike Tyson. So, you know, I think Evander wants a piece of that, and he wants to see how far he can go, simply because he stays in the gym anyway. And I add you this, guys. Evander Holyfield still spars. Him and Vlad and all those guys, they get together and they train and stuff like that. So they will do some light sparring here and there. So I think they want to test the waters, and I think the what motivated Evander was, again, Mike Tyson. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. That's my counterpunch. You guys tell me what you think of Evander, the real deal Holyfield, coming back to the sport of boxing. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.